What's that background noise?
I think it's my dog.
Put your thing on mute.
All right. Oh yeah. Here.
What's up, Crash Nation? This is Jonathan Wood. We're live here with Jacob Wood, and we've got Hunter Bish, the Roadrunner, joining us today. We have a lot to recap on. We had the Miller County Fair. We had the bump and run. We had figure 8 races. We had side-by-side challenges. We had a demolition derby. We had all kinds of things this week, and it feels like we're just getting started with our fair season, and we're getting ready to be in the full swing. We got 2 events coming up next week, and we got one in Clinton and one in Versailles, Missouri. And it's going to be the Derby's going to be in Clinton, and the figure 8 series is going to be in Versailles. And we'll also have a youth bump and run race in Versailles as well. So a lot to get unpacked here. But let's start. We start off the shows at Lucky Sevens with the youth events, and why not start off the podcast with the youth of our own and the winner of the last week's youth race, the youth bump and run at Eldon. Hey, Roadrunner, how you doing, bud? Thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me on here.
What?
Thank you for inviting me on here.
Oh, okay. So tell everybody kind of how you got started into demolition derby or figure 8. We got to get a little backstory here, because even though you're a youth, you're no rookie out there.
Well, I started with the power wheels, and it was like eight years ago. 8 years ago. I started the power wheels, and I was doing pretty good there. And then you guys came along with the youth races, and then I was just old enough to get into the races, and I got into youth races, and yeah, we're on the present day.
So how many youth races or derbies have you done total? Are you keeping count, or is it past that mark of too many to count now? Or
I think maybe the last one counting 12, maybe 12, 11-ish.
And so being 12 or 11 times, how's the nerves going into Saturday night? You're getting to the track. You see I think you had 8 competitors total out there against you. Well, how were the nerves going into the race? Did you feel confident in what your abilities to get the job done, or were you a little nervous? There's a lot of new cars there, a lot of fast cars.
I was a little bit nervous because last race I got second, and it was a little bit nervous, but I knew I could do it with my dad. Dad's an incredible driver. He teaches me all of it, and yeah.
I mean, you're trying to get new parts or something.
It's just a new car. I mean, it's a heck of a one, and hopefully it gets more wins in, especially with the figure 8s.
Yeah. So how'd the build process go for you guys? So as a youth driver / you're helping around in the shop. I know you were telling me that you helped strip it out and stuff before the race, and kind of explain to the people that are going to be listening to this as a youth driver, how's the build process look for you in your shop right now?
Well, it was a little bit of work, a little bit of getting mad at the car, and then right when it got done, we were like all thankful that the car is done now, and we got the bumper is bent in, and we need to fix that, but that'll be an easy fix. And it was a good process of a build. Stripping it out was hard, but we got it done. And putting the metal in and just building the cage, that one took a little bit of time. We got it done about last minute, and yeah.
I'll get used to that.
Yeah.
They're never done. till you get to the track. I mean, so with the build, did you help with the welding at all or anything, or you just strictly stripping the car out and kind of helping, or is there anything you help with as far as putting the car together to learn?
I didn't weld it, but I held like the bars to weld, and then like it was just like the welding part. That wasn't my job. I'm not doing that till I get into welding class or school. But like yeah, it was a heck of a time building that car.
Heck yeah. So your dad has a lot of hours into that car, a lot of help getting it to the track. And that's
Yeah.
important to have a father or have someone helping you as a youth in your corner to get you started, because you don't know a whole lot about how to build a car or what to do with them. And it's always helpful when you have someone there to at least give you guidance or even show you how it's done for the first couple times, and to give you a good sense of how things are supposed to go together. And maybe, your dad, he was in the sport and he still is for a long time. And he knows a lot of tricks when it comes to building cars. And I'm sure that's helpful just to learn.
Yeah, when he's in the passenger seat with me, it's he knows that he knows all the tracks and he knows just how to run it. And yeah, like last Saturday, he told me, or Friday, right?
Friday night, yep.
He told me that you gotta just be a smart driver there. You can't go flying through those corners, and just and we got the win by doing that. But it sure helps being with him in the corner of my car.
So how does that work for you guys as a driver rider combo? I know some of the drivers have their parents or whatever pull the e-brake. Is he ripping the e-brake for you? Or have you started just taking full control of everything and he's just along for the ride, maybe he points you around a little bit? How's that work?
So he gives me signals in the car to stop, go, or like just slow down, and then he will pull the e-brake because I'm not ready for that yet. It'll probably be next year. And I do the shifter if I get spun out or something, because it's a little bit of work to get that shifter going. And he does basically everything in the car. I just drive.
Heck yeah. Hey, that's what it's all about, learning to drive. And so from your first race to now, have you felt like you've really improved a lot over the races? Like, do you feel like you have a better feel for how to drive in like muddy situations or like different track conditions?
Oh yeah, I feel way much more comfortable when I get on that track. If it's rainy day, I feel way much more comfortable getting out there and just I know what I'm doing. At least he knows what he's doing and he can just teach me. And I know I listen to him way better. And yeah, I know how to run the tracks now because I've been progressing ever since.
Yeah, I was watching the video. I don't know if you went back and did some homework on the videos or anything like that. Have you noticed, like, watching a lot of them kids come through the corners, you were doing really good at counter steering, as to a lot of them kids were oversteering their cars and spinning out. And I think that's where you kind of had the advantage. It seemed like you were coming out of the corners better than everybody else because of the way you were able to counter steer.
Yeah, it was when we were packing down the track, we figured out that there's a huge bump right there. And when I figured out that there were bumps, I just ride off those and ride into the next corner. And I treat it like a dirt track car. I redirect, so like I'll turn the wheel to make me go straight. And yeah.
Heck yeah. So to all the kids out there that haven't did the youth bump and run, or they may be on the fence about trying it, what would you tell them about your experience? Like, how does it to get them to try it? Like, what would you tell them?
Well, I would say that it's a blast to do the youth bumper runs. You make new friends every single day you are out there. And if you are like looking into the figure eights, then I would recommend that because it like gets you prepared to race with the big boys and everything.
Yeah, you guys got some tough competition in that youth class, and I mean, there's a lot of good youth drivers that are coming up through the youth and the youth bump and run and stuff, and that wasn't available to a lot of us that were running before, And I feel like you guys are going to have an upper hand when it comes to the transition. Like, there's going to be a learning curve. There is in any sport, but I feel like the curve's going to be a little smaller for the drivers that's been competing in the youth bump and runs as to if someone went and jumped in a car and said, let's go, you know.
Well, like I'm so thankful that you guys were putting on the youth bumper runs, and now that there are a lot more this year, that'll definitely push us into like being better drivers when we get into the figure eights. And yeah, I'm so happy that you guys put on the youth bumper runs because it's just a blast every single time I step in the car and drive.
All right, let's talk a little bit about strategy real quick. So did you guys have a strategy going into the race? Like, do you guys plan out what to do before you pull on the track, depending on where you're starting? Like, did you guys go, oh, Kaylee Woods start and pull, we might want to watch out for her, or something like that, or a different driver? Like, is there someone out there that you plan to watch out for, or you feel like you have to be close to be running up there, or anything like that? Is there a strategy?
I plan to watch out for everyone. I plan not to be a compact guy. I plan to make friends out there and not, hit anybody. I felt so bad after I ran Ryan to Kaylee. And I was like, I felt so bad after the race, but I totally will watch out for our next race. And our strategy was to just keep it slow, don't go fast, and just be smart. Don't wreck, don't spin out like in Russellville. And get the dub.
Sounds like you had the smoothest faster, to be smoothest faster approach at this show.
Oh yeah. My dad, he said, just the slower it gets the race, don't be a road runner this race, and don't be speed.
He said, yeah, watch this. They don't call me the road runner for nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's just sometimes you gotta plan out the track, and usually if you see the track and if it's really dry, you gotta find those dry parts. That's what will get you speed. And then when you see those wet parts, that's when you gotta slow down, and you can't go like really fast into those, or else you're gonna go out really far. That's what the strategy is for every single race.
Yeah. So what's it feel like to win?
No, it feels great. I mean, when you're stepping off that track, I mean, it's a blast in the pits. I mean, oh yeah, stuff. I was my first one, I was like digging my head up and down in the car. The latest one, I was yelling at my dad. I was like, oh yeah, we just got that. We just got the win. And it's an adrenaline rush when you get the win.
Yeah, how do you like them Tobin's Towing trophies?
Love them. I mean, they're big, and I love them trophies.
And as a parent, it's got to make every parent out there that has a kid out there, just it's got to make them feel good seeing the camaraderie that's already developing with just the kids that are doing the bump and runs. And then on the other token is you guys are going to be driving cars eventually. And when you drive on a muddy track, I mean, if you have a really wet road or something, you're going to kind of have a better idea of what the car might do in different situations and how to steer out of those situations. And as a parent, that's just got to make you feel more confident about the ultimate goal, the ultimate thing that's going to happen is your kid's going to be in a car someday and driving around on the streets. And that's one way to prepare them driving is get them in a derby car or figure eight car that if they hit someone, oh well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm on that track, I don't plan to hit anybody, but if I hit anybody, it's a derby car, so anything goes.
How was the aftermath of your car this week? You said you got into someone out there. How did your car fare?
Well, the car ain't that bad. I mean, it ain't as bad as I thought it would after I got some scratches from Kaylee. I can see some oranges. I have from me riding right into Kaylee and yeah, I mean,
Someone out there. How's it?
yeah, I mean, it's the car ain't dented up as bad. I got hit in the back a couple times and the trunk ain't folded up that bad. Only damage that we have is the bumper that we need to pull out and nothing else is broken in there.
That's pretty good. I know some other youth drivers didn't fare as well. Jake, how was Kaylee's car after that?
Oh, it's pretty bad shape. It's really rough. So she won't be racing this Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Jacob.
I think that was the wall that did that. So she ran right into the concrete wall, but that's all right. She's going to get out there and help me fix it so she can learn what it's. Maybe that'll teach her to slow down a little bit. And no, it was all fun. It was a blast. You're going to rub people and hit people out there. We're not racing NASCAR out there, so you're all good.
Yeah, and every person out there, I believe that was their, they've all ran before. I didn't think we had any first time drivers out there, and man, that bump and run started off fast, and the track was pretty packed in. It looked like it was wet, real wet on top, but man, it definitely had a bottom to it. Them cars were for the youth class were screaming around there, and very entertaining to watch. I had a few people on YouTube comment on the video. They're like, man, them kids are wheeling it out there, and no better place to learn how to crash.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sorry, Jonathan.
I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, when we first started, I had like a circle thing, and it was like a magnet, and it would magnet to the ground, and it would like stop me from going so fast, like revving it up and stuff. So that's why I should have used this this Friday. Yeah, this Friday. I should have used that just to go a little bit slower.
You have a magnet on your car? What is this, the Looney Tunes?
I don't have it anymore, but I used to when I first started because my dad didn't want me going super fast and going up the engine and that stuff.
Yeah. So you had like a governor.
restrictor plate.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just too dumb. I like hitting stuff, so I'll go along for the ride.
I'm a dirty person too. I mean, I don't like going in circles. I like hitting people and just head-on collisions,
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. How's Demolition Derby? I think you did a couple. I know you did one on a really big stage out there in Topeka. How was that?
Well, it's going good. I did 3. I did one last year before, and I did one for you guys. I won that one. I think the first ever Capital City Carnage Demolition Derby I got somewhere around 18th or 14th, and the latest one I got 8th, which was pretty good bump up. And in your guys's I got first, which that was pretty fun. And yeah.
Heck yeah, you did pretty good on them derbies, and you learn a lot real quick about, angles and stuff like that. Have you really? So do you go back and watch YouTube videos and study like how people drive to improve yourself, or how do you try to get better in the off season? Or like, for instance, do you have any derbies coming up or anything like that?
Well, I don't have any derbies coming up. I only go to Capital City Carnage and then go to you guys. I'm thinking about going to Illinois to Spring X. But yeah, I mean, it's a blast out there. It's fun just hitting people, and yeah, I mean, been in cars, been in metal, it's fun. I mean, it's way better than just going in circles and just seeing them playing video games.
So, who's your rider whenever you do these demolition derbies?
Well, it's Troy Mitchell. My dad's too much of a wussy to get in the car, and rider me is Troy Mitchell. He's my main go-to. When
So like whenever I'm standing on the mound and standing in this or sitting in the stands and I'm watching Troy ride with you, seems like he's a pretty animated guy. What's some of his favorite things to say to you while he's in the car?
hit him, just hit him. That's what he yells to me every single time. And usually he usually just talks to me in the car. He'll be like, "Hey, we can't be doing this too yet right now. We gotta be we gotta
hit him."
Yes. He just said, just gotta hold front ready until 8th, and then you can just start plowing into them, getting ready for Mad Dog. And yeah, it's more strategy rise than a derby car than more just going at it.
You know he only has one eye, right?
Oh, I know that.
Hey, you got anyone you want to thank for letting you do what you do?
Well, I want to thank everybody that's putting on these bumper runs. I want to thank my dad for racing with me and just getting me started. And then I want to thank Troy for riding in the derbies with me. I want to thank, Troy's my uncle, so I want to thank him. And I want to thank Seth for sponsoring me. Pimp City. Yeah. Thanks for Pimp City. And yeah, that's basically it.
So is that his sponsor brand, or is it a business, or is it just, Seth the Westport, Mr. Pimp City himself?
Well, it's just Seth. He's making me stickers right now. And yeah, he's just basically there. If he has parts that I can use, he'll give them to me. We just got a motor mount from him, so hopefully
He's
that'll be
content creator.
Heck yeah, he is. Yeah. He's a man. He's crazy.
Good thing you went out and said
good.
that. He's a man. Yes, I can't wait to use that. He is a man.
Yeah. Hopefully Seth's watching this. Man.
Here comes Seth the Westport. He is a man.
Yeah.
Well, Hunter, we at Lucky Sevens really appreciate your support, and you guys were always on board whenever we wanted to start doing this. So we appreciate you and your dad and your mom always supporting us.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting it on. I mean, it's a blast just getting to a car and just racing. I mean, it's really fun. Me and my dad love it both. We love it because it gets me more into figure eights, since I only am 2 more years away from that. And yeah, we just want to thank you guys for putting it on. I mean, it's a blast. It's a blast getting in the car and just race.
So are you planning on running the championship night youth derby again?
Yeah. Oh, I plan on winning it. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, I'm planning on go into every single one and I'm there for the points championship series, man. I'm ready to win that points for the first time.
Heck yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast and sharing your experiences with us. And man, it's a blast watching you kids out there. Just give it all you got, and I'll be looking out for that magnet.
Thank you guys for putting me on here. I mean, it's a blast just talking to you guys on here, and I have a blast just racing out there and tearing stuff up.
Yep. So what's next on your agenda before you get off here? What's next on your agenda?
Next is for sales, and just for sales. We ain't got nothing else to do, so we're just ready for sales and getting ready for that.
Yep. So when you come into the track, what song should be playing as you pull into the track?
Well,
what's your walk-up music?
I'll definitely say your favorite, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble one. Love that one. I mean, every single time I pull up a TikTok video, I see Let's Get Ready to Rumble, and I just start jamming out to that. And then even at the track, I just heard Let's Get Ready to Rumble. So yeah, if anything, TNT is a good one. Look up to Ricky Bobby. I mean, always was into that movie, and yeah.
So did you play Let's Get Ready to Rumble before you came on the podcast?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Early prediction. You feel like you're doubling down, or do you feel like someone might have a better luck this race?
Well, I feel like it'll be a close one, but I'm really hoping I get the dub. And yeah, I feel like that JW10. I think I'm really thinking he's gonna be right next to me, and we're gonna have to prepare for that. He's really good at what he does. Really fast car, and yeah, I'm ready for that.
Yep, Jace just got some tires for this last event, and it made a pretty big difference with him. That's a Jace Ray, and then I believe Hayden will be back at this one, and he's always someone you got to watch out for. And man, there's a lot of good drivers.
Yeah, Hayden's a good buddy.
Leland Bell, he's pretty good. The Folks boy's pretty good. It's going to be a rumble out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of kids out there that I'm going to be scared of, but I don't think they have enough to beat the Roadrunner. You know what I mean?
All right. I love the confidence. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for putting me on here.
Yeah, have a good night. We appreciate you coming on, and good luck on Saturday night. We'll see you out there. Jacob won't. He'll be at the Derby, but I'll be at the figure
Good
eight.
luck.
So,
well, thank you, Jacob, and yeah, I'm ready for this. Thank you for the good lucks, and I'll see you guys Saturday.
all right, see ya.
All right. See you, buddy.
Man, yeah. So we had 3 events for the Miller County Fair. We had on Saturday night, we had our demolition derby, featured 3 classes. We had the full-size stock class, we had compact welds, like the mod compacts, and then we had the gut and go class. We started the night off with the gut and goes. Shout out to Simpson Grading and Ray's Lawn and Landscaping. They were getting the track just fantastic all week. And Saturday night, it was just a nice derby track. We had perfect amount of water. I think it was fast-paced derby. Everybody in the stands from the start of it to the end of it, they were in their seats or on the edge of their seat or standing up. We didn't see much people leaving. I don't even think we had an intermission during the derby at all. And man, it was an awesome, just probably one of the best shows I've been, I've attended. Even, not Lucky Sevens or Lucky Sevens. as far as the way the Derby just went. Every class, your drivers stepped up to the plate. You couldn't ask for any, better driving. They all drove hard. Every class was, the longest class was out there was 13 minutes and 19 seconds. That was your full size. I mean, your gut and go was 10 minutes and your compacts was like 8. So, I mean, that was,
Yeah,
you
it
can't
was
ask for
just
anything.
a shout out to our drivers. I mean, just like you said, everybody, every single driver in every single class just went out and put on a heck of a show, and we had everybody done by 9:30 or 10 o'clock or whatever it was, and everybody got to go home early or stay and have some Pepsis or whatever you wanted to do. It was just a great night.
Yeah, we started out with the compacts, and the compacts, man, they just got it started. They started off the night with a bang, right off the drop of the flag. Cody Bedsworth comes across there and hits, I think it was either Richard Michael or um, that Stanley Lewis. I don't know which one he hit, one of them guys. And I mean, that set the tone. Right after that, it seemed like it was on. BAS boys were trying their best, and we had Derek. He comes across there and he hit Brady right after Brady and Wes hit, and it was on. I mean, you could tell who was kind of running with who, and Mr. Lackey got a good shot in on Landon right off the get go, and had that Lackey built car pretty strong, but he had some problems out there. I didn't get a chance to ask him what went wrong yet, but he seemed pretty
Oh,
impressed with.
she was salty. Just ask him.
Yeah, that's
He
what I
was
seen
salty.
on Ying's post.
Yeah,
He said
Cody
she's
set
salty.
the pace for the whole night right off the bat, and it never stopped until we were done.
Yeah, but coming in, bringing home fourth place was Stanley Lewis, third Brady Smith, second was Tyler Pickens, and first and the Mad Dog was Cody Bedsworth. Great job to all them guys, and man, there were some hard hits watching back on that video. And one thing about the mod cars is the driver feels every bit of it, and you could tell. I think it was Cody or came up to me after the Derby, and he's feeling pretty good because he won. But he's like, "Man, my head's just rattled." he said, "Man, I was hitting some cars, and it was just hard hitting out there." And I said, "Yeah, it was." And I made a little TikTok video of some of his hits. There, he was really laying down some shots out there. Anyone listening, they could go on the.
Yeah, I think that was our only anonymous Mad Dog for the whole night, I believe.
Yeah, I
Unanimous.
think he got the only anonymous one, or the one with everybody voted for him. I think instead of just majority rule, it was everybody picked him. So yeah, they got it started off, and we went right into our gut and go class, and we had some really hard hits. I mean, it seemed like their pace even ramped up. I didn't know who the heck to record. There's just chaos from the drop of the flag. I mean, I don't know if it's bad blood out there. I don't know what was going on because it was just wild.
It was literally pure mayhem out there. I mean, there was cars driving around at like 40, 50 mile an hour, like every part of the track. It was just chaos.
Yeah, no, man. There's some memorable shots for me right off the bat. The OMG van, Tom Wardenhausen, I mean, just cleaned Michael Sanders' clock over there on the wall. I mean, he hit him in the wheel, but it took the bumper and everything plumb off the van, and you could just see the wheel laid over. I mean, it was a well-placed shot, no driver door, strictly wheel, and I mean, it just we had to throw a red to get the bumper off the track, but that thing was hurt on that side pretty bad. And then we had we had Henry Ray doing his normal mad dog things out there, trying his best to get the mad dog. He hit freaking Kevin Witt so hard. And I didn't even realize it was more of a setup thing than anything. Johnny Edgar chases Kevin across the track, and Kevin hits his brake, and Johnny just spins him head up, face on with Henry, and Henry was already coming for him, full arena shot. And just he hit him so hard, his back end came up. If I had a freaking yardstick out there, I'd say it's 2 feet off the ground. In the video, you can clearly see the whole rear of that car. You can see the ground in between the tires and the surface of the track underneath. And
speaking of Henry, I looked over in the middle of the track and I see Hayden racing across the track, and she just cow kills Henry right in the back. Hits that man with the front end. I mean, just full arena shot. I was just like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah, and they're running together for anyone that's listening and don't know. Them guys run together, and cars are built out of the same shop and everything, and they freaking that describes the chaos out there. These guys are flying around so fast, they're running into each other. We had a couple IMR cars do the same thing. I mean, it was just from the drop of the flag to the end, it was chaos. Brandon Wardenhausen put a really hard shot on Hayden against the wall, and I watched the video, and it was a super hard shot, but it looked like she took most of the shock of that shot. That's something that you normally don't see in a gut and go. You see the car give more, but it already gave pretty much what it was before the shot. So the rear end didn't really have nowhere to go. And man, she took a hard shot, got hurt. We were praying for her, and sounds like everything's gonna be all right with her though. That's just, you never want to see anyone get hurt out there, but it happens every now and then. There's nothing you can do. Every night we had someone get hurt somehow or some way, and just sometimes that's how it goes. Something you never wish for, but it happens. And we're just glad that everyone that kind of got shaken up or hurt, any night, they're all doing pretty good. I've checked on everybody and seen how they were doing. So, but in the gut and go class, we had Brandon Wardenhausen bringing home the win. Tom Wardenhausen in the OMG van. He was your second place and the Mad Dog. There was a few honorable mentions out there for the Mad Dog, but he was the one that took the majority rule on that one. Kurt Turpin got third, and Wes Jordan caught on fire and got fourth. But that was your top four. But man, there's that Nathan Hershey guy. He was flying around making some good shots too. At one point, he got put up he was flying around the track, and his buddy Noah Kenny got pushed up on the wall, completely cleared the concrete wall. And
was he the one in that wagon?
Yeah, that was Nathan. Noah was in
that freaking wagon was just driving around. He was just, I don't know if he was trying to drag race from one end to the other, but man, he was getting some speed out there.
Oh yeah, if they had a fastest lap award, he would have won that. But he connected on a couple of them shots. I don't know if he meant to, but he was definitely flying around. No one was gonna catch him.
Yeah, I have to give old Wes some credit. He drove a pretty good derby. He lost his bumper very early, and that freaking Camry somehow managed to get all the way down to fourth. And if it wouldn't have caught on fire, he probably would have got third.
Yeah, Alan Bowers says Jacob can tell you I have the best Pepsi on our YouTube chat.
He had the only Pepsis left in the whole freaking Miller County arena at about 11:30 at night. We ran completely out.
Oh, was that his cooler?
No,
I
that
know.
was we emptied Brandon's cooler, and then I went walking around searching for some more Pepsis and ran into them guys, and he had some in his truck, so he saved the day.
Oh, heck yeah. And then Johnny Edgar, he was running a really good derby until he decided to try to pillar park a van. I mean, he said after derby, I've kind of screwed up there, and I don't know. Did you see Did Joshua show you that raffle car that Joshua Craig ran?
Oh, I went out to the track afterwards and looked at it. It was he definitely got his wish. He got it jumped for sure. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. It was right in front of me, so I don't know if he got hit or if he was doing the hitting.
Oh, he did the hit. He 45'd himself on that
Ah.
OMG van about
Ooh.
mid-track. It was like I'll meet you in the middle type deal, but it wasn't a square shot. He loaded the passenger rail more than I've ever seen a rail get loaded. I mean, I didn't really know how bad it was. I went out to his house yesterday and he was talking about getting stuff ready for start getting on his bash car, and he was showing me that car, and holy crap, the freaking frame rail got pushed over. It broke the motor and the transmission mounts completely off, and the tranny's sitting on the driver's side of the car, and the motor's like as far as over as the rail would take it. Like got into all the pulleys and everything, and ripped the strut tower like from the fender clear over to like where the passenger seat would be in line with. It was just bent.
That's what happens when figure eight guys get in derby cars. They just fuck shit up because they ain't built the same.
That's what I was saying. Dude, probably used to all that plating that you're allowed with figure eight. You don't get it that the gut and go.
Nope.
But overall, I couldn't have been happier with that class, and it set up the night for our full size drivers. We had 14 full size drivers make the trip out onto the track, and
I guess I'll head to the bathroom while you talk about. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I seen you like take off to the concession stand, and I was like, I guess Ben's starting the derby, because I seen you taking your trip to the concession stand when the full size guys started pulling on the track. I said, oh, he must be hungry.
Yeah, the show was already over, so no, I'll give it to them guys. They did a great job. I enjoyed watching their class for once.
Yeah, that was from start to finish one of the best derbies that I've ever seen at a like county fair level, and I sat there in awe as an announcer all night. Like I was freaking pumped. I swayed way too much in my video footage. Like you could tell I was freaking pumped because I'm kind of swaying around. I'm like, I was just freaking excited for everything that happened or was about to happen. And man, we had 14 well-built cars. I'd say there's a lot of quality out there. Darren Witt, he came up there with a well-built car, and it looked like to me Jake Reed said picked him out kind of like, this is the one I'm taking out first, and he jumped all over him right off the bat. Him and Eric Reed kind of worked him over, and at one point it was one of the coolest derby moves I've seen in a while. I don't know if it was planned or not, but Jake went and hit someone, and Darren was like coming across the arena like full bore at him, and he like spun his car around real quick and just gave an awesome little wheel shot. Didn't really do much to Darren, but got him in the front wheel, and it kind of redirected his car right into Jasper DeGraffenried. And I mean, he made a lot of junk with that hit on Jasper. Darren did, and I know they weren't intending to hit each other, but it was I don't know if it was a planned out shot or if it happened. It was towards the beginning of the Derby, and it was just freaking awesome to watch.
Yeah, Jake told me after the Derby, he said that he don't know who the D1 was, but that was just a car that sitting beside him whenever the Derby started. So that he said, I don't know him, so that's who I'm going after.
Heck yeah, the Mark Hinkle took a really hard shot from Jasper DeGraff and Reed, and that kind of ended his night. I mean, I put some pictures of it and the video of it on TikTok, and I think it's got like 15,000 views right now. And
Jasper was out there freaking putting it on for what he had. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who is riding with him, but he reminded me of Troy Mitchell in there. He was just excited. Troy Mitchell, Logan Adams, and whoever was riding with Jasper. That's my 3 nominees for Riders of the Year right now.
Yeah, but Jasper hit that guy. That guy, Mark, you could just tell something really broke bad. He just reached up, broke his stick. He was done. And Sean Mahan, I was talking to him. It's nice to see him back out there. He said it was his first time in a big car or of that level or anything like that. And he said that what happened to him, his studs got pulled off, and I was kind of watching. I was seeing like if he took a shot and they just broke off, but what happened is him and Steve Porter kind of got locked up, and Steve just backed up, and you could just see it peel that wheel plumb off almost complete. I mean, it peeled. It probably broke 3 studs off. Whenever
he had stock car wheels on the front. So I mean, I was just happy to see him back at the track. He's always smiling. He's always got a good group of people with him. So it was good to see him back.
Yeah, and Cody Whittle, he was making some really good shots out there. He took Jacob Knowles, the 12X that was running with Jake and Eric, plumb to the wall. I mean, I guess it'd been our side of the arena, that end of the track away from the entrance, and that hurt that guy quite a bit. But I think that's exactly when he exploded his transmission, like his bell just is in pieces. He sent me a Snapchat of it, and he said he got to move around a little bit after that even, and he was driving around, and then Eric Reed came over there and hit him, and that's what did him in. It just destroyed it a little bit more, I guess. I don't really know what happened, but yeah,
the boys
he's got
are
some
destroying some transmissions.
Oh yeah, and
all
then Chris McDaniel, I think I heard that he hurt his ribs or something. I don't know what really happened to him. His PR lady didn't come up and talk to me, so
I seen him today, and he said he was just going to wrap himself in bubble wrap for Saturday for Clinton. That's all he knows what to do yet. So he showed me his side, and it was still black and blue. So he must
holy
have
crap.
did something. Yeah.
Yeah, he got hit up against the wall pretty good by Jake Reed. I don't know if that was the shot that did it or not, but it was kind of over there. It was on your side of the track, but down towards the entrance. I don't know who was over there, but I think it was Nichols, right in front of Nichols.
Yeah, he was probably looking somewhere else. He probably didn't even notice it.
Oh, he's seeing it. You can see him in the video, like jump up and wave him off, and yeah, he was watching it. Your flagmen were being pretty animated, though. I'll give them that. So
that's what we wanted.
Man, I got Henry, Tyler, Donald Porter, and Bungie. They hold their own out there pretty good against the Reed boys. And Jake, I think he said that was his first time back in a car in like 5 years. And it's like riding a bike for him. I mean, he freaking picked up right where he left off. He's probably got to be one of the most I'd say percentage wise, winningness, like winning percentages, like probably one of the most winningest drivers ever in the demolition derby world. He just he wins. I thought about playing that song for him after the derby. All I do is win because that's all he does. But
Yeah, he
man,
said he's got 48 wins so far.
yeah,
Like, holy cow.
that's crazy.
Oh, yes,
And
Corey, I am eating your jerky, by the way.
yeah, I
He
already ate
just
it
asked
all.
me. This is all, I get like 4 pieces left after
I don't even
Justin
know
got
what
done
you're
with
saying.
that.
Yeah. But Tyler Ray, man, he was putting on some shots as well. And he was in the running for the Mad Dog. Jake Reed was in the running for Mad Dog, and Henry Ray was the one that ended up taking home the Mad Dog. Snooted his car up on Eric's front end mid track. I think that's probably what put him over the edge for the people that voted for him. There's just I think it was like 5-4-4 vote wise. So it was really close on who the Mad Dog was going to be for that class. And any of them guys would have deserved it. And going back watching the film, I'm like, man, that's a good shot. Some of the shots, some of the shots I see, on the film, I don't really see them happen in real life because I didn't know what the frick to do. I probably looked like a dang, probably like a 10-year-old football player on a high school field. Like, you ever seen the little giants, the little kids out there against when they're playing the Cowboys freaking out? I was just head on a swivel the whole time, like freaking. I didn't know who to watch or what to record the whole derby all night long, and that's what you want. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. But bringing home the win was Jake Reed, Eric Reed second, Tyler Bungart third. He actually had second, I think, wrapped up, and he broke his stick. And this was that was kind of the going consensus on the night. We had the same thing happen in the compact class. Brady would have got fifth, but Tobin broke off early, and so did Stanley Lewis. Stanley was on the wall just getting fed
Yeah.
shots. I understand
I
him
don't know.
breaking
I
off,
blame that one. Yeah.
but I think Bungie is foreseeing the same thing happening to him because Jake was backing up and he's gonna go feed him another one, and he broke off. But that's driving wise, that's probably the best I've seen Bungie drive. I mean, he was wheeling that car out there, and he put on a show. Great job, everybody that ran the Derby. We can't thank everybody enough for coming. That was awesome. Awesome support, awesome show. As a promoter, how's that make you feel, Jake? The stands were packed.
Well, like Joshua told the drivers, Eldon is our home track. So everybody that don't know that Eldon, Missouri is where we're all from. So it was really cool to bring a great derby back to Eldon. The stands, they always pack them, man. The community support's always there. We always get the track workers. We always get the firefighters. We always get the fans. It's just we've been lacking on the drivers lately, and I was just so excited the fans got a good show, and seeing them pits packed was pretty awesome. I just can't thank the drivers enough for the support.
Yeah, I was just like freaking awesome. This is gonna be an awesome show. And sometimes you get a lot of drivers and you just don't know what's gonna play out on the track. But it's like, I don't know if everybody's just ready to hit something or what going out there, but as someone recording videos, that was like a dream come true for me. I mean, I just like, holy crap, all night long, everyone's just sending it. And I was like, taking my advice for the podcast, baby. Everyone's
Yeah,
sending it.
there was literally zero downtime like during the derbies. I mean, there was no time where we're like, oh, come on, guys. I mean, every class, it was nonstop from the green flag to the checkered flag, just action. So cool.
Yep, and you just kind of wonder while we're still in Demolition Derby that you kind of wonder what kind of show you're going to get in Clinton. I mean, that's a hard one to top from Eldon. I mean, there was a lot of quality drivers, and the show was action packed from start to finish, and that's all you can hope for going forward is at the next one. But one thing I like about Lucky Sevens is you guys let the drivers drive how they want to drive, and I mean, you never know what you're going to get till what plays out on the track, but there wasn't a chance for anyone to sandbag all night long. So,
yeah, that's what it's all about. It's the drivers did the driving and put on a show for the fans, and without the fans, we can't do this. So they took care of all that themselves, which is the way it should be.
yeah, and then we had our figure eight on Friday night, our Worthy Bill Bonds figure eight. But before we do get into that, I don't want to jump around too much. So, looking at our points for the Demolition Derby guys, our point series. So in your full size stock, we see a little wrinkle now. We got Henry Ray leading with 45 points over Tyler Ray with 40, and 33 on Chris McDaniel coming in third. That's your top three. Jake Reed with the win. He's got his 25 points. And then Eric Reed's got 22 and Steve Porter's got 22. So it only takes one derby to change the aspects of the points chase, and you're already starting to see names start to change as the season goes on. And I mean, you never know what's the next show is going to bring. So you could have one good run and other people not have such good runs and be right there. Josh was not on here to tell us about how the points will work for the full size at Clinton. And I know the JM Derby Products full size street stocks class, they're going to have a show in Clinton. And right now, Eddie Chick's leading that with Rob Hewer in second, Chris McDaniel in third, Tyler Ray and Derek Rank tied for fifth. So they also have like a Lucky Sevens full size overall champion. And Tyler Ray is winning that one over Chris McDaniel, 57, 51, and Henry Ray's in third with 45. And then David Shaw's 32, Eddie Chick's 25, Jake's 25. That's your top 6 drivers, but top 5 spots. There's a tie here and there and there. But all right, in the figure 8, we got to see a big shakeup in our top 5 in our Worthy Bill Bonds point series. Nathan Dunruth is now leading points over Blaine Tobin, Landon Worthy, and James Fisher, Jonathan Edgar, Kyle Wardenhausen, Dylan Chilton, Jordan Youngmeyer, Dylan Cardwell, and Jordan Piter's your top 10 in the figure 8 points. And you could throw a blanket over them guys because what are we now? 5 shows in?
Well, yeah, at least Jordan Piter was in the top 10 because he said he's going on vacation. So he better take a screenshot of it while he's got it because he ain't ever going to see it again, I don't think.
Man. Rough on him.
Oh, yeah.
Piter,
he knows that.
That's the wrong one.
What, are you screenshotting it right now for him?
Yeah, I was sending it to him. But here, Jake said this will be the last time you see your name in top 10. So here you go.
Put it in the frame. No, what do they say? The cream always rises to the top. Look who's on top, the legend himself. So he's going to be a tough one to knock off now that he is on top. It'll be interesting to see. It already, what are we, 4 or 5 races into the year, and there was already some posturing going on in the feature. I noticed there was a few guys after Mr. Fisher, so it's already happening this early in the year. So it's pretty cool to see. That's why we do the points. So I can't wait for the next race. I wish I could be there, but I'll be there for the next one after that.
Yeah, there's definitely some posturing going on, and also you're seeing, people racing each other differently because what happened at the last race is transferring over to the next race, and that's one good thing about figure eight driving. You don't have to wait a whole long time. You can just go at the next track and find them there and take care of your business on the track if you have some. But man, we started off with the bump and run class. Like I said earlier, the track was awesome again. They brought in a bunch of clay, put it down, try to get the track as good as it can be. And for this week, and I think we're starting to see a big change in the track as far as the smoothness of us. And like I said, that was all Simpson Grading, Easy Trucking, and Ray's Lawn and Landscaping helping out with all that. And that's something that you like to see as for local guys, is the local track getting behind you and trying to make it the best it can for the drivers. But we covered our youth bump and run earlier. Heat 1, we had Zach Jewell coming. I thought he retired. I didn't know if he was coming back out to race or not. We had a couple people show up to this one that we hadn't seen all year, and Zach was one of them. Nice to see him back out there. And Jordan Piter, Zach won, Jordan got second. Adam Clancy was a close third, and Dylan Cardwell was up there for the first 4 laps. And then they all they kind of fizzled out, and Zach Jewell bringing home the win over Jordan. That was you screwing with me again? He's on mute. He's trying to talk.
Oh, I didn't know I was on mute. I wasn't screwing with you that time. No, I was asking what you thought of Mr. Adam Clancy's new car. Autism awareness down the side, which is really cool. He looked like he was putting it together a little bit there.
Yeah, his car ran well, and I know it had to hit home for you. That was your Capital City Carnage theme on your car was the autism awareness, and you see him
Down
show
syndrome.
up. Huh?
Down
No,
syndrome.
here's the 2 different things.
Yeah, it was close.
But, yeah, puzzle pieces threw me off on it though.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's awesome for them to always show support for something like that. And that's something that we don't really get to see much of, but it's really cool when we get to see it out there with our drivers, showing people start asking questions about like what's that for and stuff like that, and the thought behind it. And that's how you get the awareness out there, and that's a whole new aspect of getting it out there in a figure eight car. So great job, Adam. And he seems like he's on his way back. Joshua and I kind of spoke earlier in the year about he's ever since that bump and run where he rolled his car, he's kind of been on the road to recovery of relearning the drive and stuff like that, and getting the equipment to last. And to me, he seems like he's on the right road to being very competitive in the sport again. So,
yeah, that one was a tough one because I mean, he was one of the up and coming drivers when that happened, and it just knocked him down. And to see him come back is something cool, especially in our sport. But it was good to see Zach come back, win a race. He's a big supporter of ours, so it was good to see him back at the track.
yeah, Heat 2 came out, and the track was really coming in, and James Fisher won this one pretty handily over Rhett Kiesling. Dustin Thompson bringing out a new car, working out some kinks, and I was talking to him. He really likes this new Focus that he's got. and he is working out some kinks with that car, and he is really happy with it. Jordan Youngmeyer brought a Honda. We didn't see his normal car. He said the whole plan behind that was he's hoping for a really rough track so his axles could stay in it, and he didn't really get that. So he was struggling kind of keep up in that car. It's not as fast as his other ones. But old Beth Anderson, she got sixth place. Josh Powers got seventh, and Andrew Rolfing got eighth. And Dawson Gump got ninth. And something that stuck out to me in this heat race in particular. So Josh and Andrew both run on the same racing team, and Never Lift Racing, and they hit each other pretty good in the center. They were both never lifting, so I kind of got a kick out of that one.
The one that was driving the V6 with the headers, I mean, that freaking car is a running car. If he ever figures out how to corner that thing, he's going to be a handful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did pretty good. And then in Heat 3, Dylan White coming out for his, he kind of took a race or two off, and I think he was at Russellville and missed the rest of them since then. Coming back out to play and bringing home the win in the heat race. Garrett Ferguson got second place. Jason Stark third. Johnny Egger getting fourth. And Matt Youngmeyer, this was a pretty stacked heat. We had David Gerling and Blaine Tobin, Brandon Piter, John Libert, and Hayden Forsythe all out there in Heat 3. And Dylan, he was just out there racing. I mean, he had that. This was his V6 car that he brought out, and he had that thing really tuned in. I talked to him after Russellville, and he had found out he was only running on 4 cylinders, so that probably was why it felt like it had a lot more power this race. And he definitely had it running right. I'll give him that.
Yeah, we're not laughing about his car running right. That's for sure. That thing was moving on the track. Joshua has joined us now about an hour late because he's been golfing, which is bullshit. But
gotta get it in when you can. But yeah, he was turning some good lap times. Dylan was smoking them out there.
Yeah, this one, there's a lot of top 10 drivers out there. Brandon Piter is.
Did you say it was Brandon Piter and Blaine was in this heat?
Yeah. I think you're getting ready to say what I was.
Brandon Piter, Blaine Tobin war that we seen spill over to the Conti.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I think this is what started it all, and I don't think it's over yet.
Good response, Jonathan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, on that though, Brandon did call me and he said, Blaine didn't have anywhere to go. I think Brandon kind of got worked up in the moment, and he went back and watched the old crash at YouTube, which you all should subscribe to. He's close to his goal here. He went back and watched the video, and he said, "Man, I got worked up in the moment, but Blaine didn't have anywhere to go." So it was kind of big of him for him to call me. So, but yeah, that was a good heat.
Yeah, and then Heat 4, we had Jared Sturridge, Nathan Dummermuth. They're battling it out for the lead, and this was the one Jared's back passenger wheel kept folding over onto the track. Yeah, they look like an old skid plate racer out there. And Nathan got second. He got hung up right at the last corner, and Jared snuck under him.
Is this the heat when there was just a massive pile up like the first lap, and somehow Jared got through there?
Yep.
What
Jared was the
that,
only
Jonathan?
car. He was the only car to sneak through. Adam Corpenine and Charlie Burns were out there causing havoc. And Michael Belcher, his car was like not running right. So he was trying to like not break down through the corner. And anyone that knows Charlie, he's out there to hurt feelings. And he said, "Oh, Michael," he figured he'd just give him a good old shove out of the way. And then the chaos ensued. And that's what kind of started that big pile up over there. Seth the Westplorer and Alan Fisher also contributed to that on the first lap. They got into, so Seth was winning, and Fisher.
Hold on,
and Seth,
hold on.
Hey.
Say that again. Say that again. Just say Seth was
Alan,
winning.
yeah, Seth was winning the race.
Yeah,
And,
he'll love to hear that.
because he is a man.
Yeah, he is a man.
So Josh was looking at us like, what the heck are they talking? But yeah, so, so he's a man. But he was leading, and Alan got into him and he popped an axle, and that's where the rest of that pile up was caused at. But yeah, it came down to Nathan Dumruth and Jared moving on to the A. And this is the one John Dow pulled off track. He had some issues with his neck or head or something. I don't really know the extent of that one, but
No, he was all
just
good
had some
before the
issues.
figure eight was over. Yep, before the figure eight was over, he was already out of the hospital.
So
It was a pretty
Yeah,
scary moment for us. I think he hit someone. His helmet hit the roof, and his body went forward still, so he hurt his neck. But it's good. We've been in touch. I think he's doing good. He's doing better. So it was a scary moment. But John, he's John, he's a pretty tough cookie. I think he's been through a couple heart attacks, some other medical issues. But yeah, glad to see he's doing better.
and he still beat Jordan Piter in that race when he pulled off. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh shit!
Oh
But
shit!
I don't know if Piter even ran.
No, I don't think he did.
But in the Heat 5, Wes Jordan back in his 1NS car that he built, man, he was laying down some shots at the center of that thing, but he brought home the win. That Odo Fowler, he laid a shot on him. So Wes was coming through there to pass Tony Cardwell for the lead, and guess who? Odo was there, and Tony slowed down, and Wes did it. Drove right through Odo.
There's an H in his name, Jonathan. It's Otho.
Oh, well, you guys could add that to the website at least.
Can't fuck it up now, but his name is Otho.
I think you just better start calling him Jonathan. That way you can't jack it up.
Yeah, that's all right. But this is the heat that was made TikTok a couple times for my figure eight videos. This is the one Robbie Crater freaking smokes Dylan White in the door. And I mean, it moved his whole front end clear over like a good 1.5 feet. I don't know if you guys seen that TikTok that I put out of the figure eight one, but this is one of them. This heat pretty much was that whole TikTok reel, because this is the heat that Tony Cardwell smoked the 4TT of Tracy Sturridge. I mean, it was a rough heat all the way around. But Wes Jordan bringing home the win. Alan Fisher getting second in his 94 car.
Yeah, this is a typical wild child heat. I mean, Wesley can put it on whenever he wants him to, and whenever it gets into that battle, I expect him to come out of it. So yeah, he did a good job. There's definitely some hard hits.
Oh yeah. And we had Heat 6 come out. Dylan Chilton bringing home the win, and Landon Worthy bringing home second. And they had Garrett Ferguson, Zach Gilmore, Samuel Hurd, Ricky Bobby, Josh Bertoni, Casey Kipker, and Dustin Ferguson out there. And this just looked like one of those races where the experience is. It seemed like everybody else is kind of getting impatient, and Landon and Dylan just kind of, picked their way through the field and brought home the win. Oh, Ricky Bobby, before the race, he was super early. He was telling me he had his car all figured out, and he's got some more improvements to make for sales. He's got some more things he's going to do to it. But he was really hoping to make the feature again. He just came up a little short. That brought us to our B mains, where Dylan Cardwell bringing home the win in B main number 1. Dawson Gump running second, and Adam Clancy just barely missing the transfer again. So he was right there all night long. He just barely missed it both times.
Who's that? Hands?
Yep, in his new car.
Man, him and who'd you say got second?
Dawson Gump.
Oh man, they were going at it that whole Conti. It's kind of like Cardwell's running his own race, and then Hands and fucking Dawson Gump were going at it, and they knew they were fighting for the transfer spot. So it was they were racing pretty good there for, I want to say, like the whole race. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, and B main number 2, we had Jonathan Egger bringing home the win, Blaine Tobin getting second, and Charlie Burns getting third. And this is the B that, man, Charlie put a shot on old David Gurley, and I think he got it fourth, but there was only 4 cars running at the end of this thing. And Charlie was out there smoking people. And he about made it to the transfer, dude.
He's always smoking something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie went into that race with the intention of being the last car on the track, and he about got there. Picking them off.
Yeah. Blaine totally drove through Brandon Piter in this one. I mean, this is the one in the B main. Blaine was really trying hard to catch up and to Johnny Edgar. He was driving real hard, and anything in his way, he kind of hit it. But he found enough to make it to the transfer, though. In B3, Kyle Wardenhausen and Lori Edgar bringing home the transfer places, and then Otho Fowler bringing home third. So, yeah, Otho. Man, he had that car moving on that last race.
Otho? Yeah, he had that thing going.
Yeah, him and Lori Edgar, they were battling. It looked like Otho was taking the corners a lot better, but Lori, man, she's not afraid of that skinny pedal. She just hammered down through the center every time. There was some very close calls, but she made them. She made it work. So
she's definitely her mother's daughter. Like those two girls, they know where the skinny pedal is.
Yep, that kind of set us up for our figure 8 A main. We had Dylan White bringing home the win. He was on rails. I mean, it just looked like it was his night to win it. He was just checking out. He kind of checked out on everybody pretty quickly. And Blaine Tobin able to wheel it down to second, Dylan Chilton third. Fourth was Nathan, Johnny Egger at fifth, Alan Fisher with an impressive showing in sixth, Landon Worthy got seventh, Rhett Kiesling eighth, Garrett Ferguson ninth, and Kyle Wardenhausen rounding out your top 10. But man, Dylan Cardwell, he was running a good race there for a while. I don't know what ended up taking him out, but he was up there too. Going back watching the video, he was right up there. I don't know what took him out. But yep, there were some battles going on the track. Fisher looked like he got tied up out there, and just Blaine and Dylan were able to bob and weave their way through traffic to get to podium finishes. It wasn't a our photo finish. We didn't have one this week like we've been having almost every race, but it was still good racing.
No, I mean, honestly, Dylan White went out there. I don't know if he took a couple of weeks off and had to meditate or what, but it seemed like, whenever we threw that red flag, I don't know. I don't remember why we threw it. But there was a red flag. It was like 4 or 5 laps in. The tire got moved.
Yep.
And from there on, we stopped it, and Dylan was running with a few leaders. From there on, seemed like a switch flipped, and he was just, kind of like we talked about in the past, kind of in his own zone. Just the waters would part, and Dylan would find a way. But that was definitely his race to win, and he did what he needed to do.
Yeah, that red flag was detrimental to Ferguson. Garrett Ferguson had his new car out there. He was running second place when that red flag came out, and man, he just it was just detriment. After that, he just went backwards from the red. I don't know what happened. He got hung up. It seemed like everybody got hung up at least once, but except for Dylan. That's what it looked like to me anyway. I don't know if that's what happened. I was really trying to do my best job recording for everybody, and
I think Dylan lapped the whole field, everyone except for Blaine. I think Blaine got second. Blaine started I think he was starting very back, so he had to fight his way through there. But Dylan lapped everyone except him. So it was a fun race to watch. Still, there was a lot going on. I think watching Blaine, cut through the field, Dylan kind of dominate, and then you see a lot of drivers that they get out to like a half track lead or a tire lead, we call it, and then they start easing off. That motherfucker did not ease off. He stayed in it the whole time. I mean, he was racing like there was someone on his tail the whole time.
oh yeah, he blew his tire on that last. He got the white flag and blew a tire on that corner down there, and he just held it to the floor. I mean, he had that thing just wrapping out coming across there, and when he finished, he pulled off to the side. I mean, there's just smoke coming out of the car. He was giving her all she had. But yep, that definitely tightens up the points race for sure. And I think that's 4 or 5 races that we've had and 4 or 5 different winners. We still haven't had a repeat winner in the Worthy Bill Bonds class again, and it's just that just says it's a really competitive class. I mean, we seen it last year with 11 straight shows, and we're seeing it this year. So I'm interested to see who comes out the victor on Saturday night in Versailles. It looks like it's going to be a really good night of racing. So
I anticipate it's going to be a hometown boy. Say, I won't be there, so
Yeah, one of them IMR cars, or who are you thinking?
Mr. Edgar, I think he's gonna get it done finally.
He does pretty good at Versailles, and all the tracks are so different than each other. I mean, it's crazy when you go there and look at it from the stands, but from a driver, every track's just different, and some of them, cater to other people's driving styles. But um, Landon's he's been really good there at Versailles through the years, and he's someone to watch out for. And Fisher's always did pretty good at Versailles as well, and he's from Stover, so he's a favorite as well to win there. But man, it's anyone's game. It's anyone's game, and
I'm an old school Cavalier or Beretta guy, so it always seems like the V6s do better. At least I always did better in my V6s at Versailles. So I'm curious to see if that holds true. If a V6 is going to take it home, or these junky eco techs, maybe one of them gets lucky.
Timbrook will be there, I'm sure.
If his back's holding up, we'll see.
Yeah, we missed him at Eldon because
He was limping pretty bad Saturday night. Boy, he was rough.
Yeah,
real bad.
Yeah, he kind of rolled his car over in the bump and run, and he wasn't able to make it back out on Friday night. And I was talking to him, and he said it wasn't the rollover that got him. I was thinking it was the rollover. He was telling me he took a shot like mid race in the bump and run, and the angle that it hit him or something, that just hit him just right. It pinched a nerve in his neck or something. And he said Friday when he woke up, he just couldn't move, but he was moving on Saturday. So I'd say by next Saturday, he's going to be good to go. The old wheelman's going to come out.
He might be wheeling himself in a walker.
Gosh. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
But man, so Thursday night, we had the bump and run, and the track was like the first heat, we put water on it, but it wasn't enough. I mean, them guys were creating smoke like dust, and they were flying out there. And the whole night, them guys were wheeling it, the bump and run guys. That just looked so fun to me. Them guys were going probably 45, 50 mile an hour, and they're all wanting to know who had the fastest lap. I just told Zach, yeah, you had the fastest lap. I was just kind of saying that. Sorry, bud, but I don't really know who had the fastest lap, but they were all curious.
Zach did have the fastest lap.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, that's the fastest Burton, it sounds like.
Yeah, he said, yeah, if Corey wouldn't have been able to catch me, but in the feature, Corey outdid him. Corey got 7th, and he probably would have did a little better, but he's out there tough trucking. So we had a side-by-side challenge, and they had 2 jumps out in the middle of the track for everybody's listening. And some of our bump and run guys took it upon themselves to see how much air they could get, and Corey was one of them. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but it sure seemed like it. Every time I'd record on him, he'd go airborne.
Yeah, he said there was some blocking going on out there in that feature. That's why he didn't do so hot. So watch the video and see what you think. We might have a little New Bloomfield drama rolling around.
That's what happens when you're the defending champ. They don't let you get it so easy the second time. And
just ask him, he'll tell you.
That was definitely my favorite part. For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about halfway through the race, cars are running, like Jonathan said, 40 or 50 mile an hour. on the backstretch to us anyways, it would be the crowd side. We all look over there and Corey Borton's coming out of a turn. I think he has cars on each side of him. And he has the choice of either to hit the brakes and to move away from the jump or to take the jump. And that crazy motherfucker just kept her to the floor, just hit that jump. And he sent his car. I mean, that he definitely didn't give no fucks. So I'll give it to him that he had the balls to hit the jump instead of hit the brakes. But that was hilarious to watch.
I will say, when them cars come down through there, his car, I don't know what, but it was like ear piercing noise. Like it was just so loud. It almost was a piercing of of your ears, something that you'd get on the indoor show at like Topeka. We've talked about that in the past. That's just how it was. It was so loud, and I mean, he was hitting so high of RPMs, that thing was just singing. It'd come by through there, and my ears would just ring. I was like, dang. I was wishing I had a headset like you guys had on at that time. I was like, dang, I should have put a headset on. Things were loud. Them guys were giving them all they had through there. I liked how you guys did it. We had heat races, and there was transferring spots, and some people didn't make the A's, but most of the people did make the A because of the car count. But they gave them a chance to get out there and fine tune their cars and stuff like that. And we also had a hobo figure eight that night, but winning the bump and run was Dylan Bronner. We had Joshua. Joshua kind of said, like, as the bump and run was going on over there by the track side, like the stand side where the entrance is, there was a really dry spot. Jacob's like, I don't want to get wet, like too muddy. We were getting caked in mud. So it was drier over there on that side of the jump. And Joshua pointed out, he said, man, if someone finds that line over there, they're going to be straight scooting through there because it's kind of drier. And lo and behold, Dylan Bronner, he kept hitting that line, and it was slingshotting them through into the corners. And you could definitely tell. I mean, in the videos, you can watch them hit that dry spot, and it just looks like a slingshot every lap. But James Fisher, he was winning that race for a long time, and the white flag comes out, and Bronner got him. Spun him out. And Fisher wasn't able to get power back to his car, so he didn't even make top 5 or top 4. He got 5th by the time they crossed the line. But that was an awesome.
I won't take credit for that, finding that line. That was Jacob over there that seen that line. But it definitely helped. Fisher was leading that race, and I think he had the faster car than the bomber. I won't call him by his name, but he definitely, the bomber had to find a different line to catch him, because I don't think he would have caught him straight up.
Yeah, once he did, he dive bombed him like no other into that corner.
Yeah, definitely. We talk about how, first place takes no, you can't have a lot of friends if you're going to win a lot of races. And that's one of those times where, it was one of those decisions where he had to make, do I make the rough decision, or do I get a win here? So like he took the rough decision.
Winners always make the rough decision.
Yeah, we had a side-by-side challenge. Justin Quincy bringing home the win over Cody Dummermuth and Tony Ansel.
I think cool. All that is just ball size. That Justin Quincy must be packing, because he's running out there, and and a little tiny side by side against these souped up things. Quincy just lays his dick on the table and say, "Let's see it, boys."
That's about what it came down to. He is flying. He's definitely going through the corners and whipping that thing sideways. And, he definitely had he knew where the skinny pedal was, and he didn't let off for the jumps like some of them other guys did. And in the hobo figure 8, we had Jordan Youngmeyer bringing home the win. Brandon Thompson coming home second. Brandon was winning that thing for a while, and he just looked like to me he's getting a little too cautious. Through the center, he kept stopping, and that's when Youngmeyer caught him. It was good to see old Timmy Brockman back out there. He got third. Henry Ray coming in fourth. Didn't have any donuts on his car, and Joshua pointed that out, right away. And after I was talking to Henry, he said, "Man, I didn't have cylinders out there either." So he said he was missing a couple, and or one wasn't firing right or hitting right or something like that. But Kirk Turpin bringing home fifth. I was talking to him afterwards. He said he ran that whole thing without no e-brakes, and he said that car's going to be real fast when he can get an e-brake in that thing. He's been pretty busy with stock cars and derbying this year. We hadn't seen him at much figure eights. And Kyle Wordenhausen bringing home sixth place with the sprint car wing on there. Dylan Cardwell bringing home seventh. Michael Belcher eighth. Lane Tiggerhine in ninth, and Justin Quincy was running. He got 10th place. Did Quincy make it out there? Yeah, I think he jumped his car in the bump and run that he was going to run. He was in it like at a Ford Escape or something like that. And he's trying to run it the bump and run. And he just said, "I didn't have enough speed for them guys." So he just said, "Tough truck time." He must have really liked hitting those jumps. And Henry must have got jealous because that's what he started doing too. I don't know if they were having a big.
Yeah, Henry wanted to take out our sticks.
Yeah, he's used to breaking sticks out there, so he had to break some. Yeah, I think that sums up Miller County. Like we said earlier, can't thank everybody enough for showing up and showing out. I mean, the fans were there, the drivers showed up, showed out. The weather was awesome. Can't really ask for anything better than that. Track was right. Track's getting better and better every time. So
Yeah, no, I'll just I don't know what you all talked about the hour I was golfing, but I was man, it is awesome to see the car counts that we got. I was pretty happy with especially Friday and Saturday night. The Derby. Talked to a few people that have never seen a Derby and that have never really supported derbies, and they said that is the best derby that they've ever seen, and they're going to come back to more. So that is,
I'd hope it was the best derby they ever seen, if that's the only derby they ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about two different people here, but yeah, no, I agree.
No, before he came on, I was saying that that's one of the best derbies that I've seen, and I'm not just saying that. It's not every day you go to a derby and every class is under 13 minutes and 9 seconds track time. I mean, time to go, and that's with a red flag in there. There might have been the actual derby time itself for the big cars might have actually been like 12 minutes and 30 seconds if I wouldn't have been recording some before the derby started and some during a red flag out there. But
Yeah, I
that
mean,
wheel
you're
on the
talking
track.
about drivers that have ran Blizzard Bash whenever it was in its prime. Talking about up and coming, people that just ran Stanton, Nebraska with their cars. We had 3 or 4 of them, so it wasn't like your fly by night drivers. It's top of the line drivers, and they're getting after it. I mean, thinking about the derbies I've been in, that would have been one of the funner ones to be in. You kind of know where you stand. But yeah, just the turnout and the crowd turnout, I was very pleased.
Yeah. One thing that we kind of touched on before you got on here, we don't really know. So how are the points operating on the Clinton show for the stock class?
I don't know what you mean by stock. We don't have a stock. Like the monostock class or the hobo full size.
That one, yeah.
Okay, so it'll operate just like we did last year. We have you get rings. So if you're chasing a ring, you're gonna get a ring for a compact and a ring for a full size. So the full size points are gonna get a ring, compacts are gonna get a ring. 2 rings for the full size, another one for figure 8, or one for the full size, one for compact, one for figure 8. So we're giving out 3 rings at the end of the year. The bone stock full size will get bonus points. Similar to what we do bump and run and the compact figure 8 or the gut and go figure 8 or whatever you want to call it. The bone stock class will have bonus points. So first place will get 10 bonus points. Second place will get 9. 10th place will get 1. So you'll go down, you'll go down the line for the bone stock class for bonus points. And that'll just go to that main full size points.
Okay. Yep. That was the question I was getting asked, and I didn't know how to answer it, so I just said I will get back to him on that. But we look forward to seeing everybody in Clinton or in Versailles, whichever show you go to this weekend on Saturday. Both shows should be action packed either way you're going, and should be, should be one that you don't want to miss either way. I mean, if you're a figure 8 fan, Versailles is always one of the better tracks to go watch. I mean, that racing's always tracks wider, got a lot of racing lanes. Last year they had it banked. You had a bowl. I mean, you could run the banking a little bit. Who knows how they'll have it this year. And Clinton's new for us. I don't know if you guys have seen any footage for Clinton or how it might be.
It's got the possibility to be our biggest derby that we've ever put on, car count wise. So this, for everybody that's looking for a derby to go watch, it's probably going to be a good one.
Yeah, we just talked about how Eldon and even the mind of me, I've seen a lot of derbies over my time. And that ranks up there just as within the action with all 3 classes. And then you turn around and to see, if we're just judging off of phone calls for people asking about rules or for people wondering about the show or for people saying, I'm going to come run your show, Clinton will be, I think it's going to be even better than the show we've had at Eldon. With the caliber of drivers, a lot of times you'll see a show that has a bunch of drivers, but they're, kind of the fly-by-night guys. I'll call them that, but they just show up and they want to bump each other and play bumper cars. But I think this is not going to be that show. So I'm excited about Clinton for sure. I wish I could be there, but Versailles is definitely, just like you were saying, it's if you want to watch a figure 8, if you want to watch the drivers drive, that's definitely a track for that as well. So we're going to have we're gonna have 2 action-packed nights. Shame they're going simultaneously, but I'm excited for both of them.
Yep. And if anyone gets any footage of the Derby and they want to send it to me, I'll gladly put it up on the page, or if you want to just record it, I'll share it on my page. I just want to, if someone's videoing it, we'll definitely want to get it out there. I won't be videoing either show. So if you're listening to this, if you're a driver that likes watching the videos, you'll just have to have a family member record this week because I'll be tied up. I won't be able to record this week's shows. So,
Jonathan, I got just a few more things. I know you said it like 3 times, but I can't thank Henry and Tyler and Jason Ray for all they've done to the track, and Mr. Dial for hauling all the clay in, and Chance Simpson with Simpson Grading. They put in a lot of diesel fuel, a lot of man hours. They had their hired help there working, and they didn't ask for a dime. They wouldn't even take a cheeseburger. And I just can't thank them enough. They put in a lot of time up there this week, and it means a ton to me. Them drivers should be thanking them. Like I said, that's coming right out of their own pockets. All right, we got that out of the way. Crashed It exclusive. Race for 28 is in less than a month and a half. We're going to do the same thing we did last year. You're here first. 28 spots. We're going to take a minimum donation for each spot after 4th. So 5th through 28th of $50. If you guys want to do a specific number, like if your mom was born in 63 or something and you want to donate $63 to a certain spot, you can do that. I will say spot 14 is taken by Tyler Ray. He's already donated $100. Henry's already donated for spot 10. And then we have a hard charger from Mr. Alan Bauer, some V-treads. So those are the 3 things that are taken as of now.
AJ Bauer. AJ Bauer.
AJ Bauer. BK Derby Wheels or whatever he is.
As much as
we'll
you make sure those guys' name, Alan Bauer and AJ Bauer and Cody Whittle, I can't thank him enough. Jonathan calling them the Bauer boys when there's literally just one of them.
they're brothers, though. I mean, we even went through this at Richland. Sorry, Cody, but
but guys, just hit us up if you want to donate, and if you want a specific spot or if you just want a random spot, we'll give you guys a few days, maybe a week on here, and then we'll put it on Facebook, and it will literally fill in probably 2 minutes. So if you guys want to donate, just let us know, and we'll get that taken care of.
One more thing for anyone that's listening to this podcast that doesn't know, on the Race for 28, last year we did a big check. It had like every sponsor on the back of it that donated to a spot. Is that something we're going to do again this year? So these drivers.
Yes, hopefully the check ain't as big as it was.
That thing was huge. It was a billboard last year.
Yeah, not money wise. I mean size wise of the check. I mean that thing was massive. There's a little miscommunication on the size, the dimensions of the check.
That thing was a freaking billboard. But these guys that win this race, I mean, last year was the first year for the Race for 28, and it's something special. I mean, the guys that win this race, they're going to post this on Facebook. They're going to show it off to their friends and family. There's a lot of exposure. It goes up on the Crashed It page. It goes up on the Lucky Sevens page. Lucky Sevens, usually they'll have like their Facebook page where you can, buy a spot. for that, prize money. You can post it on there. That's usually on their Facebook page. Thousands of people see this, so it's not like you're just. Not only are you donating to a good cause, but you also get seen. So there's a lot of exposure with that race. It's a growing race. When you put 28 cars on that track, it's crazy. And the people that were there last year talked about it. A guy wrote a song about it. I mean, it's just nuts. A lot of exposure last year, and there's more to come this year, I believe, with that race for sure. All right, guys, got anything else?
You're just want to interview the interviewer here, you're the host. What's what one moment stands out to each of you over the last 3 days that we had at the Miller County Fair?
One moment. For me, it was the national anthem for the Derby. I looked up there, just seeing all the crowd. I looked behind me as I was. So I'm in control of the radio, and I was trying to, or the volume on the music. So I was trying to turn up the volume on my phone that was playing the national anthem. I looked behind me to turn up the volume, and I see all the drivers. I mean, behind us where we were, there's just all the drivers were standing there up on their cars, and I seen their families, I seen their friends, I seen everybody that was involved. Their friends and family, they were watching them on the other side. Everyone was there for a good time. And I mean, the energy was awesome. It was one of the moments to me that just stuck out, that I was kind of taken back. I was just so humbled to see that many people there to support the show, and the drivers show up like they did. That stuck out to me the most, I'd say. Just seeing all the families there with the different shirts on, a lot of time that each and every driver put into their cars, and they just went out there and destroyed them. It was awesome.
Mine's kind of down the same path as that. After the full size feature, when all the drivers just battled it out, people from different towns, and everybody shaking hands, and Henry and Jake and all of them guys, Tyler, everybody got a huge smile on their face, and everybody's shaking hands. And we finished 3 days of pretty hard work, and we didn't have anybody get seriously hurt or injured, or no fights. It's just awesome feeling when it's all over with, and you're sitting there and everybody's happy, and well, most people are happy, and it was just awesome. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a cop-out answer. So again, along the lines of just being from here, so Eldon is our show, right? When we first started, we're like, man, we need to get Eldon Derby on the map. We need to get this town, the town we grew up in, back involved in Demolition Derby, and especially figure eight. It's something that we kind of rooted ourselves in, and kind of did pretty well back when we were running. And just looking into the crowd and seeing all the support for both Demolition Derby and figure eight, but just on the track action. It was awesome to see, the moment that sticks out to me whenever I think back is when Henry Ray and Eric Reed, they I don't know if they was beef, but it was something, whatever made them hate each other last year in Turkey Fest. But it was kind of watching that battle again, and neither driver, Henry or Eric, backed down from it. They knew they came there to, whenever they pulled out on the track, they're like, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with this motherfucker. And they both went out there and they dealt with that motherfucker, and they did it head on, and both of them stood each other up. That hit that's like the highlight hit of the weekend, I think.
Yeah, there's so much you could talk about. I mean, there's so many moments that stuck out. And as fans of the sport of demolition derby, that was one of those iconic moments where we seen the battle start last year and it picked right back up. They kind of held off on each other for a moment, and then Eric brought the fight to Henry. He went head on with him, and Tyler Ray seen it right off the jump, and they both jumped on the reeds. And the rest of the derby, they were battling each other. And by the time it was over, they were, right there at the podium, and the battle was over, and so was the derby pretty much. So it was awesome to watch. I mean, everybody could tell what was going down. A lot of people knew what was going to go down out there, and it was just when it was going to happen. We didn't know if it was going to happen right off the drop of the flag or if it was going to happen like it did a little bit later on. So
Peace.
yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see everybody on Saturday, July 15th. See you in Clinton or see you in Versailles. Go out there and send it. We thank you for all the support. Keep it up. Keep commenting on the videos. Please go subscribe to the YouTube. We are getting so close to our goal. We're going to give away $50 to one lucky subscriber once we hit 1,000. And we're also going to do some more stuff. Every dime that's earned goes right back into the sport one way or another. I'm going to tell you that right now. So just keep following, and thank you all for the support. Go out there and send it this week. Can't wait to see the videos.